people forget about it. They have lives, they have worlds, they have nervousness, they have fears that they're not even aware of sometimes that keep them from taking action. If we want to make a difference in people's lives and grow our martial arts businesses, we have to be the leader that they need us to be. We have to be somebody who quells their fears, who quells their objections, who gets that voice out of their head that says, I'm going to get hurt, or I'm not fit enough, or whatever, out of their head. We have to be that person that walks them through to step number one, which is getting in the door and trying out our programs. So how do you get around this? How do you fix this issue? Well, firstly, never leave the site of setting an appointment without doing something towards its attainment. Write that down somewhere. If you're in front of someone, especially if they just fell into your lap, but even if they're a lead that approached you in a Facebook message or an email, or they called your cell phone because your cell phone's listed on your website, never leave that site without scheduling in the calendar. If you don't schedule it, it's not real. It's just in some dream mythical world where maybe it'll happen someday. Schedule that first day appointment. Not only do you schedule the first day appointment, but you send them reminders. Now, if you need a reminder to send the reminders like I do, that's fine too. Use Google Calendar or something. Put that in there that they have a, let's say John Jackson has a appointment at 7 o'clock on our Wednesday class, and then click the option that says send me a notification 1 day before and 1 hour before. It'll send you a notification on your phone, and you'll be reminded, hey, it's the day before John's first day trial. Let me send him a quick text and just say, hey, do you have any questions before your first day? Reply and let me know if there's anything I can do for you in the meantime. Otherwise, I'll see you there. Notice that I'm not leaving them options to make excuses. I'm basically just saying, hey, if you have any questions, let me know. If not, I'll see you there. Or I'll send an email, or I'll call them. When I had my second martial arts school, I made it a point to spend 20 minutes every day just calling whatever 8, 9, 10, 11 leads were in the system that needed reminders. There's social pressure there. There's this sense of, hey, this is Sifu Jason from Superior Academy, just giving you a quick call. As a reminder, I'll be meeting you tomorrow at 6 p.m. here at the Academy, and I'm going to have somebody waiting to walk you through your first day. It's going to be sort of a semi-private lesson, so make sure that you're on time, maybe even 5 minutes early. If you have any questions before then, just give me a call back or shoot me a text. Glad to help. See you there. Now, what that does is it puts into their mind that someone's really going to be there, and they will be there. You or somebody else should really be there to walk them through day one. But also it gives them that sense of like relationship, right? Like you care enough to not just throw them in with the lions. It eases some of the tension. But it also creates a little bit of social tension where if they don't show up, now they're imagining you standing there like some kind of weird loser, all right, waiting for them to show up, but they didn't show up and they stood you up. Okay. Now that might seem a little bit bizarre, right? Because most people don't put that kind of pressure on people, but that's also the reason why 80% of your leads slip through your fingers. So to eliminate that, we're going to make sure we follow up properly, that we schedule them, that we put that scheduled appointment into some kind of calendar app, right? I use Google Calendar. You can use whatever you want. You can use a CRM, which is really the proper way to do it. But if you don't want to get too fancy and technical, use iCal or Google Calendar, set the reminders, and make sure that when you put the reminder in there, don't just put John's trial, put their name and put their phone number in there, type it in. That way, when you go to follow up, all you have to do is click on the phone number and you can send a text message or make the call right away. It makes it easy for you. You should only have to spend a few minutes a day actually doing that. Now, let's say they don't just fall into your lap. Let's say that, you met somebody and they're asking you a couple of questions about what you do and you're like, yeah, I do martial arts, or they're calling you and they're like, yeah, I just want to know what you guys are all about. How do you make sure that that semi-interested person turns into a lead, turns into somebody who shows up and tries out for the first day? Well, we have to become more curious than we are lecturing. So most martial arts instructors will do is they'll start listing off their resume. Well, I'm a black belt in this and I do that and we're so special and here's why we're great. Here's why we're better than everybody else. And the other person's kind of left just going, oh, okay, cool. They're left almost more intimidated or annoyed sometimes than they are interested. So the way to get around that is to become very curious. Ask them questions because they'll sell themselves in the answering of the questions. So ask them, what makes you interested in martial arts? Or, well, have you ever done this before? Or, hey, how long have you been thinking about doing this? Why didn't you try it out when you first started? And they will hand you their priorities. They will literally tell you why they want it, why they never did it, why they were too afraid to do it before. And now you'll get to pull those levers later. You'll get to use those references later. Now look, you don't want to be salesy and you don't want to come off as some black belt factory, okay? So just be genuine, just be yourself. Never try to use, if you read 7 sales books and you get all these tips, a lot of them, people are keen to a lot of those strategies now. A lot of times their bullshit meter starts going off. So don't be salesy and don't try so hard. Just ask questions and be curious. And later you'll get to make reference to some of the things that they tell you. What you want to do is give them 1 or 2 options. That's all. If you tell somebody, well, when can you stop by? People don't know. People they're not thinking like that. It's like, have you ever asked your spouse, hey, what do you want for dinner? And then they're like, I don't know, what do you want for dinner? And you're like, I don't know, what do you want for dinner? And you literally go in this super annoying loop. About this. This is what we need to say to people. If they're interested, you say, look, I've got a class coming up this week on Wednesday and Friday at 7 p.m. Which one of those 2 days at 7 p.m. works better for you? And now their mind is narrowed to just 2 points in time. And they'll probably be able to tell you if they're busy. Oh, okay, how about Friday at 7? Okay, great. Well, let me put you in right now. Open your calendar right then. Show them. Don't just go, okay, cool, see you there. Because they know you don't really give a crap if you do that. They probably assume you're going to forget, and now there's no social pressure. So you go open your app and you put them in there and you say, okay, what's your phone number? And they give you their phone number. You put it in there. You go, look, we don't mess around on first days. We make sure that you have, a good experience, a fun experience. Either myself or one of my apprentices will be working with you personally. So make sure you're on time. Being 5 to 10 minutes early is the best case scenario in case you have to fill out, a waiver or whatever. In case you have any questions before you get started, you'll get to look around. I'll give you a little tour of the place. Okay, hey, just so you know, I'll send you a text the day before just in case. And make it, I know that sounded a little bit scripted, right? You can say it whatever way you're most comfortable with. That's just the way I used to say it, and guess what? It worked almost every damn time. I hate to say it so bluntly, but in my first martial arts school that I owned, it was with a really salesy partner, a really gimmicky partner. That's why I left him eventually. But we didn't get the conversions, right? We didn't get people converting from interested to showing up. In my second martial arts school, when I got more relationship oriented like that, showing them that I actually care about them coming, man, I'll tell you what, very few people actually stood me up. So we have, if somebody falls in your lap, making sure that you take care of it right away. If somebody doesn't fall in your lap, making sure that you build their interest by getting curious, learning, and helping them remind themselves about why that might be something that they're interested in. And then converting them into an appointment, and then putting that appointment into a reminder system that will remind them, if it's automated, I don't recommend automated, or that will remind you to remind them from your cell phone. Okay, or from your office phone. Yeah, when you get that personal, you send somebody a Facebook message, you send somebody a text message that isn't automated, you leave a voicemail, and you go, hey, like when I would leave people a voicemail and say, hey, this is Sifu Jason, I'm the chief instructor over at Superior. That means something. That's not some secretary, right? Now, look, hey, you want to have an apprentice do it? That's totally fine. I'm not knocking you on that. But if you want to increase the number of leads you're getting by 2 or 3 or 10 times, and you want them to actually show up ready to sign up, put a little bit of that personal, make them feel a little bit more special. Show them that you actually give a crap. Show them that you're not just going to count them as some number like some big black belt factory, okay? That's how you do it. That's how you convert somebody who's interested into somebody who's actually showing up.